Hello there. No, hello there. Oh God, I'm gonna have to move this camera, move this cameo over. That way, I'm not blocked by the freaking comments. Galactic Cantina. Hello there. How are you doing today? It's good to see you again. Long time no see. What the fuck? That manga card fell off my desk. Apparently. Oh, what? I was gonna do the Q&A video while talking about the Shroud of Darkness tomorrow, but I said fuck it. Let's go ahead and do it. So obviously the title is called The Shroud of Darkness. There's really no reason behind it. I just thought that was cool, and when I went to go look up and see if there was anything like books or anything like that already titled The Shroud of Darkness, I found out that there was an episode of Rebels called that. But screw it. We're still gonna go with it. Um, the characters obviously are gonna be Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, like all the normal people. I did throw Ahsoka in there, and then of course Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda's Force Ghost, along with 3 new students. Turn the page here. Yeah, I'm looking at the original outline, and it doesn't have any character names or anything. But just to give y'all an idea, like that this is just like talking about the outline of the story. Like 3 pages. I got freaking notes upon notes, like whole backstories on the characters. Unlike some companies. But we'll go over the characters and stuff before we get into like the outline of the story. So this takes place 10 years after Return of the Jedi. So it's about, yeah, it's around the time that Luke would have been rebuilding his Jedi temple. One sec. Sorry, I think I'm starting to get sick. It started getting fucking cold as fuck and warm as fuck over here in South Carolina. It's weather needs to make up its mind. But the first character that I created for Luke's Jedi Praxium, her name is Ashla Morrow. She is basically the female Anakin. God damn. Shout out to all 6 of y'all. I did throw elements of like every era, like of the Skywalker saga. So there's part like some shit that's kind of reminiscent of the prequel trilogy, obviously the original trilogy. Obviously, there's a little bit of the sequels, like Ashla's from Jakku, but Luke finds her by following like a virgin, or not necessarily a virgins, but just like kind of like a call. I guess it would be a virgins, but she's not like that. She's got a family. um she does end up turning to the dark side. Um her midichlorians, I'd say about mid-range. Like I think I actually put it down in her. Did I not put everybody's? I swear I did. Huh. I swear I put like their midichlorian count. Huh. But okay, so Anakin's like, I want to say like he was what, connected to the Battlefront 2 story. I have not played the Battlefront 2 story. So I shall play it, and I will try to incorporate it into it. And yeah, I'll do some research on that. I mean, I'm still in the process of writing it because like what I'm going over in this notebook is like kind of like the first draft ish, and then I've got something on Google Docs where I added more to it, but it's still not completely finished. Luke is in it, and you're basically in the Battle of Jakku. Really? I mean, I know Luke was in it because, or I can't say that I haven't played it. Freaking, I started it, and there's a like one of the first flying missions pissed me off, so I quit playing it. But I know Luke is in it because, obviously I've seen the clip of why did you help me? Well, because you asked. But Luke wasn't on Jakku. Hey, well, I might just have to change some stuff, and Luke is on Jakku. But some of her, so I guess some of her force powers later on obviously would include force lightning. She is able to use I call it force taming. I don't know if there's an actual term, but you know, like that stuff that Anakin did in Attack of the Clones to the big rhino looking thing. Yeah, she's able to do that. um so she lost her parents during the Empire's reign. Did I actually Yeah, okay, so basically the backstory on that is she was born on Jakku, and her parents refused to sell their land to the Empire, resulting or really give up pretty much. Uh Resulting in her parents being taken along with their land. And Ashla was in town getting supplies, and Ashla comes back to see Imperial officers and stormtroopers. The fuck? Oh, so she runs away and sets out to live her life as a scavenger, selling scrap, ship parts, and doing whatever she must do to survive. So basically, Luke travels to Jakku because he feels the Force calling him there. Well, we are going to change it now. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Well, in my story, Luke will be on Jakku. He will be helping them out on the Battle of Jakku. It's a fan story. It don't have to fucking follow. I mean, I want it to follow, obviously, but if I gotta change little stuff, it's all right. But of course, he offers her a choice to come and join him and learn about the abilities she possesses, or stay and continue her life as it is. She joins Luke at the age of 17. Well, I mean, I don't know exactly. We're not even going to include the Battle of Jakku shit because then I'm going to have to fucking rework timelines, and I'm not doing all that shit. Shit was already hard enough to fucking plan out as it was. But she's about 17 when Luke finds her. She learns about normal force usage at 18, obviously. She starts like basically taking apart, I guess, Luke's version of the Jedi archives and all that. And she basically is just like a wide-eyed kid. Jakku was 5 ABY. Mm. Okay, so I know there's ABY and BBY. Was there something? I swear I saw something ABE like after the Battle of Endor. But yeah, timelines fucking confuse me and shit, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. I just know that it takes place 10 years after Return of the Jedi. But yeah, she's basically just a wide-eyed girl who lost everything, and she ends up turning to the dark side because of some stuff that goes on. You'll just have to wait for the full story about that. Next, we've got Eli Sarko. He's actually born on Coruscant, or as some people on Audible like to say, Coruscant. um, he's basically he's got some traits of like Obi-Wan. Like he has a very very low midichlorian count. Like I'm talking it's mainly like his reflexes are good. But he learns to well, he has low patience, but he ends up working on it, gains the patience, gains more discipline, and he basically he just has really good reflexes and accuracy at the moment until he starts training with Luke, obviously, and starts building it up and building it up. Like basically, so the way that I have it, I know that Luke learned a bit about Anakin and the past of the Jedi. So the way I have it is the way he looks at Ashla and Eli are basically like stories that he's read about Anakin and Obi-Wan. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm throwing in elements of basically all the prequels and sequels and originals and some of the legend stuff that I've read and all that. Next, oh wait, I think yeah. He's one of Luke's first students. He willingly joins Luke after a major fight with his parents about wanting to join the New Republic's army. He leaves Coruscant in frustration and ends up on Yavin 4, using his reflexes and feeling a small call in the Force, finds Luke's academy, and after meeting Luke, he senses that Eli is Force sensitive, but his connection into the Force is really low. But if he's willing to learn, Luke will help him train to become a wise Jedi. He still carries a blaster. Um, Luke and Eli actually butt heads due to his frustration with himself not being able to harness the Force within him within the first 1 or 2 years. He starts to show progress in controlling his frustration, as I just said. He gets his great reflexes obviously help him in lightsaber training. He actually learns Form 3 because of his reflexes and defensive. So we got that. So the third and final character, we have Emil Shock. She's indifferent about wanting to learn to control her powers and about like the Force and everything. She really just doesn't care. She has I'm pulling a George Lucas here. She has a unknown home planet because I couldn't think of anything. She just shows up to the Jedi Academy one day. Her parents basically disowned her because, long story short, she had an older sibling in the past, and let's just say her parents couldn't deal with losing another child to the ways of the Force. She's got about a mid-range midichlorian. I'd say her and Ashla. All right, so Anakin has 20,000. I'd say mid-range would probably be what, like 5 to 8,000. And then Eli, of course, would have low, so I'm gonna go probably along the lines of like 2 to 3. I have no idea how they actually measure midichlorians. Um, mhm. So she basically ends up on Yavin 4 because she was following what she called her internal GPS/intuitions. So she finds Luke's temple. She learns to harness her powers very, very quickly. Luke senses resentment, but she won't open up to him about it. I don't know what I wrote here. I got chicken scratch. All right. So, I guess. God damn. What the hell spilt all over this shit? It's like a fucking drink spilt. Fuck. I guess I'll go ahead and well, let me pull up the Google Docs. 'Cause that one's a little bit better. Oh, you fucking asshole. Yeah, sign in. All right. Desktop it is. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about what actually goes down. So I start off the story. Eli and Ashla are doing their saber trainings, obviously going toe to toe, freaking basically being the Anakin and Obi-Wan of their generation. Let's see. What in the fuck is going on with my Galactic? I genuinely think Kathleen Kennedy's like attacking my computers right now. This is some horse shit. Google Docs. But they're fighting, and every time they fight, they go toe to toe, but Ashla always ends up getting the upper hand. This is not who? What the fuck? This is not me. Oh, oh, I remember. I was on the wrong email. Okay, so I'm gonna read like I guess the opening crawl. 10 years, the Shroud of Darkness, a Star Wars fan story. 10 years after the Battle of Endor and the fall of the Galactic Empire, Jedi Grandmaster Luke Skywalker has set up his new Jedi Praxium on the planet Yavin 4 and has trained 3 new Padawans, recently turned Jedi Knights: Ashla Morrow, Eli Sarko, and Emil Shock. As General Leia Organa Solo and the rest of the New Republic are being set up and tracking down any remaining Empire loyalists and crime syndicates, of course, I had to throw in some of George's sequels, trying to rise to power, Luke Skywalker worries one of his students may be turning to the dreaded dark side of the Force. And of course, like I said, they're fighting. They've spent the last 8 years together since they built their first sabers, training sabers, whatever you want to call it. They were fighting with sticks, basically. um, Ashla, of course, is very proficient in Form 5, and Eli was proficient in Form 3. Eli was actually gaining the upper hand on this particular fight that we open up with. So Ashla decided to try a move that was considered forbidden, and she deactivates her lightsaber and reignites it, but she miscalculated her aim and ended up cutting Eli's saber right in half and damn near cutting his face. So, hold on. I don't want to like read the whole story, but essentially, Luke's noticed that there's been some changes going on in Ashla over the last few months. So he goes to talk to her, and she, okay, here it is. I scrolled down to it. He asks her, "Is everything okay?" And she says, "I don't know. My powers are constantly growing, but I'm feeling rage boil up inside me, and I don't know how to deal with it." And Luke tells her that he's constantly fighting temptations and I guess like not necessarily the urge, but he's got like a million reasons of why he could turn to the dark side, but he has not. So he proceeds to tell her about everything from Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, watching his Obi-Wan die in front of him, finding out Vader was his father. And at the time, I believe it was still around this time period, and I don't remember if it was Legends or if it's canon. but they were trying to basically like hide the fact that they were Vader's kids at the moment. He didn't mention R2. Again, timeline's probably fucked up. I don't necessarily know, but I changed it to where R2 has shown him like the hollow recording of Anakin killing his mother. And but he didn't mention that to her. And she basically tells him that the dark side feels like it's calling to her naturally. She says, because it is, it tempts everyone. It's just up to the user on how they wield their power. You can use the force to help others while helping yourself. Always remember to follow the will of the force, not your will, my will, or anyone else's. Listen to the force, and the force will listen to you. And eventually, he shows her a Sith holocron that he has recovered. And Ashla has read about them in the scrolls and text and all that, but she's never actually seen one in person because Luke has yet to actually teach any of them about the Sith holocron. But she asked him why he didn't teach them about them. And she starts to hear this cold whisper inside of her head. And basically it's spewing nonsense into her head like, oh, he didn't teach you because he doesn't trust you. He's not who you think he is. He doesn't trust any one of you that he's trained. He's no better than the Jedi before him. And basically they start reaching out. I see, this is why I gotta fine tune it, because I was looking up exactly how Sith holocrons worked, and what I pulled up, it did say that basically you needed to like think like a Sith, or you needed two Sith. We'll go ahead and okay, so it's basically just saying I just looked up how to open a Sith holocron. It says force sensitives capable of fitting in the palm of a human's hand can only be opened up by force sensitives. Where's the stuff that I pulled up before? Was it? Hold on. Was it Rebels? I don't know. I swear I remember seeing something that it was like you need to think like a Sith, or you needed two Sith. Somebody will probably correct me eventually, but hmm. This is gonna bother me, so I'm gonna look it up live. Dang, Beyond the Dune Sea is still going. Maul and Ezra. I just bashed my elbow. Come on, Ed. Oh, there would be no fucking captions on this, and I ain't got my headphones plugged into my actual computer. I know they combine the holocrons. I mean, the way I look at it, if Ezra was able to open up and help Maul with the Sith temple on Malachor, why wouldn't Luke be able to think like a Sith, considering his dad was a Sith? I don't know. I think I can make it work. There's still some fine tuning to do, but they start reaching out with the holocron. Luke senses a massive shift in the Force, and the holocron basically explodes. Not exact. I'd really see. That's why I need to go back and still work on it. I mean, I'm still working on it, but I'm making notes like in notebooks and stuff. So basically, she, after everything like that happens, she flees, takes multiple scrolls and artifacts, so she could basically read up more on the dark side and figure out whose voice she's hearing inside of her head. Um, Luke tells the kids what was going on. I say they're kids; they're fucking adults. But later that night, I'm gonna actually read this one. I've posted the video multiple times. Later that night, when Luke was meditating, he reached out to an old friend that he hadn't heard from in a few months. Was it normal for Jedi? I wrote in parentheses, was it normal for Jedi Force ghosts to go on vacation? When out of nowhere he hears, "It's been a while, my son. Father, do you know how many times I've reached out before? Why did Ben only show up? I save you from darkness and you can't even appear to guide me through things? I know, and I'm sorry. You've never needed my guidance before this event. Obi-Wan was able to look after you in ways that I never could, even if I hadn't turned. But I'm here to tell you, remember to always see the good in someone's heart, as you did in mine. No one has ever truly gone, Luke. You saved me, and I know you can save this girl. You may take after my Jedi abilities, but you take after your mother more than you think. She would have done anything to save me if I had let her. I know you will do the same for Ashla. Good luck, son. I will always be here." And of course, I end it with, that's the thing about Luke Skywalker. He always knows when to help the other person and not give up. He saved his father from the dark side. He isn't going to let Ashla go down the same route. Remember to see the good in someone's heart. Thank you, Father. And then, of course, at the very end, there's a little special cameo to a little swampy planet called Dagobah. Emil goes there and she enters the cave that Luke did. She basically fights a Force vision of who I call Darth Fatales, and that's basically Darkside Ashla. And there's a massive lightsaber duel between Ashla, Emil, Eli, and Luke. And then we find out who this certain little red-headed character is that's been planting whispers and shit in Ashla's ear. So yeah, that pretty much does it for the Shroud of Darkness. So that's basically I'm trying not to get into major spoilers, but yeah. That's basically what's gonna happen is Luke has an apprentice turns to the dark side, takes over the course of, because at the end of this something happens and Luke takes about 3 to 4 years off. I think I'm gonna do like a 3 to 4 year gap between each story. That sounds about right. That sounds good. But yeah, look forward to it, guys. I am working on it. I'm constantly having discussions with Darth Christensen about what I should do, how I should end it, all that good shit. So stay tuned and may the force be with you always. Peace.